Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. What's going on, everybody in YouTube world? This is the Cockney biker, hoping that you're all having a fantastic day. Today's little rant or conversation, so to speak, is going to be about people naming their motorcycles, among other vehicles. So cue the intro. At this moment in time, I'm riding Destiny. The reason her name is Destiny is because when I first saw her at the dealership, I swung her leg over and I picked her up, and the first thing that came out of my mind, or came out of my mouth, was, "You are destined to be mine." So I pretty much refused to leave until I'd gotten this bike. So the very nice people at the Blue Bay Harley Davidson and Harley Financial, with the help of a hostage negotiator, managed to sort me out a nice deal to get this bike, and that's how she became Destiny. Now, Dawn's bike, Mimsy, is actually short for Mimsy Scorcher. Now, her bike gets pretty hot, as you've probably heard her complain on previous videos, and I sort of joked that how it scorched her Mimsy, and how the bike should be called Mimsy Scorcher. And as a result of that, that's what it became. Even though Dawn wasn't quite happy with that name, she sort of got used to it. Then the bike sort of and the name sort of joined as a pretty nice little duo. Shaylin, as you know, her love of Supernatural, her first bike's name was Dean. And well, her first Vulcan S was named Dean. This one now is called Lucifer. Just basically for characters of her favourite TV show. Now, but prior to that, then there was Tempe, which was the 250. Now, I'd always thought that like naming your motorcycle was like pretty much the thing to do. You get a bike, you give it a nice name, because you know that sort of imparts a sort of personality. But I'm not the only one. The recent study found that up to 30% of Americans name their vehicles, and I imagine a good portion of people in other countries do the same thing. Now, I'll give you an example. Uncle Red Devil, his bike's called Jelly Bean. Now, that's not really a name, that's more of a title or a type, but it's a great name and it suits it really well. Another friend of mine, Strongbow, has a white Vulcan S, and he's called her, of all names, Betty White. Got to make sure this little bit of paper doesn't fall out. I'm on a bit of a mission today. I'm doing a bit of dispatching. I really should put this in my in my saddlebags. I think I might do that. Another friend of mine, Sam, who's in Cornwall, he's got a Vulcan S and her name is Valerie. Now, those are sort of apt names that you sort of give your machines, given like, you know, what they look like, what they feel like, how they ride, and just generally whatever there is, whatever you call them, whether it's a name or a sort of title, like the Beast, the Monster, or something. What it's supposed to really do is sort of like provoke a sense of partnership between you and the vehicle concerned. Oh, I see a little blue light over there, copper. Don't you nick me, son. I know you're working with ice. Anyway, like a partnership, like a sort of companion, a best friend. And that's pretty much true for like a lot of vehicles. I mean, especially ships. Now, originally ships were just names so that you could identify them in the harbour. So, because a lot of them all sort of look the same. Oh, don't know who they're after. Look serious. My first car I called it Sue. And I always sort of joke to people that like I called it Sue because I should have sued the get I got it from. But I digress. Naming your vehicle is a sort of psychological way of maintaining a relationship with that vehicle. Not unlike Wilson in Castaway with Tom Hanks. You know, it is a sort of situation where, you know, you're riding along, yeah. The bike gets you to your destination and you're like, oh, thank you, Destiny, for getting me there. I appreciate the safe ride. Well, really, it was you. I mean, and then also, in reality, it's just a machine. You know, it came out the factory no different than any of the other street bobs with, you know, of the same year. And that's the same with any bike, but I don't know if any of you have ever noticed, but like if you ever ride an exact same bike that might have been owned by somebody else, exact same year, exact same manufacturer, making all that, you'll notice that there's something always different. It might be barely noticeable, it might be absolutely undeniable. But you know, I look back on any of my previous bikes with that had a name with a certain sense of nostalgia. Whether they were good or bad, whether they worked well or I got stuck everywhere. You know, they were quirky, they had personality. And like I said, no two bikes are the same. You know, think of Full Metal Jacket, you know, this is my gun, there are many like it, but this one is mine. Well, that goes the same with almost any vehicle, pretty much. Now, I know that because of the difference between, you know, Shay's Vulcan S, the 2015 one, which just got towed away today for the insurance, and the 2017 version, which is not really all that different, but there is enough of a difference for you to really sort of feel it. Psychologists have also attributed naming your vehicle as towards a sort of sense of loneliness. Not loneliness in as much as you've got no one, you know, you're a Billy no mates, or you've got no friends or anything like that. You may have tons of friends, but you're talking in terms of that's a special friend who knows you more than anyone else. You know, most people attribute that to their animals. I mean, I love the idea of, like, you know, Destiny being Destiny. I love her quirks, I love her personality. And the fact that I've named her in a sort of way, to me, gives her a soul. You know, not unlike Herbie, for example. You know, gives her a soul, gives her purpose, gives her a sentience. Even though, like I said, she's just a machine, you always feel that much more connected to them. Because they are kindred. It's your friend. And, you know, whenever I've sort of traded in bikes before now to get other ones, I've always felt a horrible sense of loss or even betrayal. It's like dumping one girlfriend for another. You know, one day in years to come, or maybe even soon, I don't know, but one day, you know, this old girl's going to be handed over to a dealer in exchange for something else. I don't know what, how, or any of the details on that one, but the one thing I do know is when I ride off, I'm going to look back at Destiny for the last time and actually feel really sad, if not a bit guilty. Of course you shouldn't feel that way, because like you said, like I said, it's just a machine. But still, you know, love is love. Actually, there's even like a couple of other people I've spoken to who've got names for their bikes. Actually, it's, like I said, it's a really interesting subject, the psychology. I mean, there's always like a different story as to how a bike got its name. Whether it's because of what it looks like, or what it's called, or, you know, some circumstance around getting it. But it really does make it have a personality. And it does go in line with like the consensus that, like, if it's got a name and a personality and she loves you as much as you love her, I always refer to vehicles in the female gender, then, you know, I've always said about cars and motorcycles, they've always got me home. They got you home because they wanted to get you home. They could have left you stranded, but they just held out until you got home and then fell apart. And, you know, I've actually I've had a couple of times where that's happened, where one car I had, it was a Taurus, the tie rod ends gave out on it, but that car got me home before and I pulled into my driveway just as like the left wheel went left and right wheel went right, and it just sort of split, and I was always grateful for that. Anyway, I think it's really interesting how people name their bikes and how they get those names or what they call them and why. I love hearing stories about that. So if you've got a particular name for your bike and a great story that comes with it, I really want to hear about it. Drop a line in the comments, please do. And like I said, I'll definitely have a read on that. I always pride myself in replying to any of the comments that come through, and let's get 3 million all at once. But if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button. It's just down there, and there's some more videos over there if you want to check them out. Mind, there you go. Take care of yourselves. Be lucky, and laters.